Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Furlong, and today we're going to take a look at the functions of hormones. As you're taking your notes today, you're going to see that things are set up a little bit differently. You have what looks like a giant table in your notebook, whereas on the screen it's going to appear like our notes typically are. You're simply going to be filling out the functions of each of these different hormones. So let's get started. We're going to start off in the pituitary gland. Now, there's two parts to the pituitary gland, the anterior and the posterior, or the front and the back. Each produce different types of hormones, and these are just some of the hormones that are being made. The first one is growth hormone. So as the name implies, growth hormone helps to increase the body cell size. It also helps to increase cell respiration rate. Of course, this is what helps us grow, and that requires quite a bit of energy. Once we are fully grown, however, growth hormone is used to help repair all the damage that takes place on a daily basis. The only time, though, that we make growth hormone is when we're in deep sleep, which is why you want to get plenty of sleep every night. The more sleep you get, the more growth hormone that you're going to make, the taller you're going to be. The other is called prolactin. Now, prolactin is a hormone that is going to promote the development of breast tissue, as well as after labor has taken place, or after a child is born, it will stimulate the production of milk in the breast tissue. The third is thyroid stimulating hormone, and this is going to control the production of hormones in the thyroid gland, which we'll talk about here shortly. The next is adrenocorticotropic hormone, or ACTH. This is what's going to be controlling the adrenal glands. The next is follicle stimulating hormone. This is what's going to cause gamete production. The gametes are either going to be sperm production or egg production. And then luteinizing hormone. Luteinizing hormone causes the release of hormones in the gonads. So that's either going to be the ovaries or the testes. In the posterior pituitary, we have antidiuretic hormone. So this is going to be produced for low in water. It's going to tell the kidneys to absorb more water. So it's going to help to retain water in our body, especially if we're not drinking enough fluids. And then we have oxytocin. This is going to be released prior to labor, and this is going to cause uterine muscles to start to contract. All right, so let's take a look at the thyroid gland. Thyroid gland produces thyroxine, which increases our metabolic rate and protein synthesis. So this plays a major role in giving us our metabolism. Do we have a high metabolism or a low metabolism? Calcitonin helps to control blood calcium levels. Embedded in the thyroid gland is the parathyroid gland. This produces parathyroid hormone that increases bone breakdown to release calcium. So notice we have two different hormones that affect calcium. One is going to be produced when we're trying to store calcium. The other is going to be produced when we want to release more calcium into the bloodstream. In the adrenal gland, we produce epinephrine and norepinephrine, which is more commonly referred to as adrenaline. And this will cause things like increase our heart rate, our breathing rate, and it allows for more glucose to get into the cells. Remember, glucose is our source of energy, and we can flood our cells with energy along with getting more oxygen by increasing our breathing rate, and getting that oxygen to the cells faster gives us some real quick energy. In the pancreas, this is a gland that is used both in the endocrine system, but it also produces enzymes that's used in the digestive system. Two of the main hormones here is glucagon, which helps to increase our blood glucose levels, and insulin, which will decrease blood glucose levels. In other words, if we are eating a lot of foods that are high in sugar, we're going to produce insulin to keep our blood sugar level stable. If we're not taking enough sugar, glucagon is going to be released to bring up our blood sugar levels. The pineal gland produces melatonin. Now, melatonin does a couple of things. It helps to inhibit the release of FSH and LH. We'll talk more about those in the reproductive system, but it also helps to set our daily biological clock. And so melatonin causes us to get sleepy. Now, when you're a teenager, we might not start producing melatonin until way late in the night. when you're younger and when you get older, it's produced earlier in the day so that you start falling asleep maybe around 9, 10 o'clock at night versus now where you're not falling asleep till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. The thymus gland produces a hormone called thymosin, and that's going to help to mature T cells. We'll talk more about T cells in our chapter on the immune system, but these are important with immunity. Uh, Ovaries will produce estrogen and progesterone. So these are going to help to regulate the female reproductive cycle. Also helps to develop those secondary sex characteristics. The testes will produce testosterone. Testosterone is used in the production of sperm, and that helps develop secondary sex characteristics in males. Now, although it seems like you have to have testes to produce testosterone and ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone, keep in mind that everybody produces a certain amount of estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Now, there is some digestive glands are used specifically in the digestive system, but they are considered hormones. Two of them are secretin and CCK, which is short for cholecystokinin, or CCK. And this helps to cause the release of digestive enzymes, so that when we're trying to break down our food, these hormones help us be able to do that. So that was a very quick look at the major hormones that we'll be talking about and what they do. Your next step is going to be making some flashcards so that you can be prepared for our next test. And I'll see you then.